Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my basting, because I've now got to roll these, I should say I've got to offset these edges here. So I'm just going to take this basting out, because this basting was done when this was completely flat. And if I can get this basting out, then it will allow these edges to kind of offset, so that I can have the under layer be smaller than the outer layer. Okay? Okay, let's go inside here now. Make sure here we are. Okay? All right, now that we've got that done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the garment side, which is right here. Okay, there's my garment side, and I'm going to push it back. Okay, so I'm going to push it back so that I create a bubble between this outside edge that I really pressed well and this side here. Okay, so I'm just gonna it's hard to get that pin in. There we go. Okay, so offset those edges, and you probably need about 1/8 of an inch. Again, we're accounting for that turn of cloth. So this, we have to account for the turn of cloth on here in 2 places. Okay? All right, so I've got that pinned. I'm gonna put another pin right here. And remember now, when I sew this side, it's only gonna be a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'm pinning this a little bit closer. Okay, so I've got this offset and I've got this pressed. So can you see the bubble? I've got a bubble there, and if I don't, then I've got to push it back a little bit more. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna push it back here, and as much as I can here, because it is sewn at that. There. Okay, so I've got, now, can you see my bubble there? I've got it all along here. So that's so that this, when this seam turns, like this, then this collar will stay nice and flat. So I'm going to grab a tailor's ham. All right, I'm actually going to do a small one for this. And now I'm going to take this and turn it. I've kind of put the pins in so that I can actually lay it like that. Okay. And this is going to be a small little neck. Okay, you can see that. I'm going to get a seam roll, because I think a seam roll is more like a little neck on a child. Okay, and I'm going to put my pins there. Okay, so now when I go like this, see, this is what it's going to do. It's going to go around someone's neck, and this is like, I'm just trying to show you here, and you want to test it. Okay, see how it goes nice and flat, like here. Okay, if this started to do this, then we'd be making a little teacup instead of a collar. We want this to go flat, so it will stay flat on the garment. Okay, and it's kind of hard to get that exact shape, but you can see how that's going to look. That's what you want. Okay, once I get that, then I've got my pins in. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to baste it. Okay, so I took the basting out because it was done when it was flat. Now I've got this turned. I've accounted for the turn of cloth at the neck for here, and I've accounted on this side, and I pressed that seam in. Now if I didn't have this pressed very good, can you see how I'd lose that whole bubble in that seam. But I've got this press good enough that that bubble stays inside so I can turn it. All right? Okay, so let's, I'm going to go ahead and work on the other one, but I want to show you how the oven mitt works. And then we'll go ahead and baste this, and then it's ready to go on the garment. All right, so now I'm going to show you another way to open this seam. See, it's right here on this big oven mitt, and you just press it right there. See? Now is this on? Yep, okay. All right. So, and you just press. It's kind of interesting because you have to put it on with one hand. You can only use one hand because you've got your other hand in the mitt. Okay, well, this is another way to do it. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but anyway. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll finger press it and get it open. And then once I get it opened, it's easier to then take, yeah, see? Now that I've kind of opened it, it's a little easier to take the iron like that, okay? Either way, it's a little bit tedious. I still like this one here with the rounded edge, like that. Because then I can put it right where I want it. And while I iron with one hand, I can open it up. But still you have to kind of get it right. See, I can open it up with one hand, then I can press it with the other. There, okay. All right, well I just wanted to show you that oven mitt because a lot of the students really like that one too. But again, we want to get that opened up. And you can try finger pressing it first, and then this will probably go a little easier. Okay, so now let's go over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how I baste this, and then we will be putting it on the garment. Okay, so I've basted one. I'm going to baste the other. And so what I do is I just put it in the machine, and I'm going to baste at 1/4 inch because I'm going to permanently stitch this at 3/8. So I've got it on 4 millimeters here. And now I'm just going to go ahead and I've got a lot of pins in here, so I gotta take them out as fast as I sew. Sometimes, there we go. Because once I've got this pinned really well, so it's not, so it's actually sewing. I'm basting it pretty quick. Now this one I want to try and push back just a little. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so I've got that basted, and again, I want you to notice, see, can you see how that's got that bubble, so that when I turn this back, it will stay nice and flat. Okay, now, the other thing I need to do now is, because this collar goes around the neck, and it meets at the front, I have got to stitch this together right before the seam, or when I sew it, it will come apart. So I'm looking at my pattern here, because honestly this edge here looks about the same as this edge. So I've got to figure out which is the front, which is the back. So when I look at the pattern, a pattern is always printed with the right side up. So if that's the right side going up, that means it's going to sit on the, well, on the left side, I guess you could say, but it would sit like this on the neck. We usually do left and right when we talk in sewing, according to the person who's wearing it. So that would be the person's right side. That's why I always get left and right mixed up, because it's kind of mixed up here when we sew. All right, so here's my collar. So this one's the front, all right? And so I can tell by my notch right here near the front. So here's my notch and my notch. Okay, now what I do is I'm going to actually put these together, right together, and I'm going to try to pin them, but that's going to be tricky. And then I'm going to come at a 1/4 inch and I'm going to go back and forth like a zigzag that doesn't go anywhere. So that I can, because if I can keep these together, so I'm going to kind of go like this. See, that's impossible almost, but well, that'll help. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my machine, I'm going to go back to my 2.5 because I was on basting. Okay, and then I am going to get ready to zigzag across here. So now I'm going to push it on, I'm going to put it on number 2 stitch, which is a zigzag. All right, but I don't want it to go anywhere, so I'm actually going to lower the feed, okay, so that it will stay in one place. So when I lower the feed, I come over here and there's a button right here and I push that in. Okay, now notice my feed dog, my feed control that pushes my fabric along is now down. It's not going to function right now. So now I put these edges right close together and I'm going to go a 1/4 of an inch away. Okay, so that's about right here. Okay, and I kind of push them together. So this pin's useless. Okay, I'm going to push those together, put my foot down. Now I'm going to go ahead and hand wheel. Wait, gotta make sure that that's, okay, that's together, but I don't want it, overlapping. Okay, I'm going to hand wheel to the other side. Okay, all right, that's good. It's catching both sides, so now I'm just going to do it about like 1, 2, 3. That's good. That's all I need. I already did it once before, and because I don't want to make a big, huge knot. Okay, well, I can't find my scissors. These work. All right. So, can you see what I've done here? See how I've made sure that will stay together? So when I sew this, when I get to that point, it will stay together. Otherwise, my presser foot will push it. Like as this goes through the machine, this will kind of go like that, and then this will push it so they will be apart here, but you want them right together. Okay?